and welcome to the Nursing Hub. I'm Wendy, and today I want to talk about why women are colder and men are hotter. So have you ever climbed into bed and your partner screams and says, "Get off me, your feet are like blocks of ice"? Okay, so there's two real reasons why women feel the cold more and why they have much colder feet. So the first one is our metabolism. Resting metabolism is lower than men, and our circulation protects some extra things that we have in our abdominal cavity. So firstly, with the metabolism, our resting metabolism is how much energy is expended while we're doing nothing. And so muscles still need to produce new cells, they need to hold our frame up, our heart still needs to pump, our intestines still need to work. And so men, because they have a bigger frame, they have a bigger skeleton, they have more muscles holding this skeleton up, they're actually going to have more activity at rest than we do. And so the more activity and the more energy that is being used, the more heat that's being given off. So men at rest are actually hotter because they're bigger, because they've got more muscle amongst other things than women do. And so that's why you need to have the heater on hotter to keep a woman just as warm. Okay, so the second part is your circulation. Now, your heart pumps blood all the way around your body, and you'd think it does it evenly, but it actually does it in such a way that it protects your vital organs. So everything that's in this part, so your brain, your heart, your lungs, your intestines, are all protected before your legs and your feet and your arms and your hands. You can still live without your feet, but you can't live if there's not enough blood going to your heart. So when it gets cold, there's a thing that happens called vasoconstriction. Your body doesn't want your heart getting too cold, it'll stop. Doesn't want your lungs getting too cold, they'll struggle to provide oxygen for the rest of your body. And so it does a thing called vasoconstriction, and it does it in your extremities. So, and your blood vessels go like this. So you actually end up with less blood supply going to your legs so that the warm blood can circulate around your abdominal cavity. Now, women have got extra organs in their abdominal cavity. They've got their reproductive organs, so the uterus and the ovaries. Now, these need to be kept just as warm as the heart and the lungs. If you were carrying a baby, for example, your body needs to protect this baby. So that's why it's all located in the same area as your heart, your lungs. The brain is a bit different. It gets blood supplied directly from the heart straight up to the brain. So it's getting warm and nourished and oxygenated before anything else gets to have a say. Now, men are actually the opposite. So their reproductive organs are kept on the outside of the body because they actually need to be 2 degrees cooler than your core temperature. So a man's core temperature can increase if they get sick or whatever, and it means that they're not going to have adverse reactions with their reproductive system. Women's reproductive organs are pretty much, from a temperature point of view, are the same as your lungs and your heart and whatnot. So why is a woman's feet like an ice block when they hop into bed? So if it's a cold day, and it normally doesn't happen on hot days, if it's a cold day, then the body will want to keep itself warm, and it's got a lower resting metabolism, and so it needs to fight even harder to keep warm. So the vasoconstriction happens all the way down your legs, and your feet don't get the same warm blood as the rest of your body is getting, and so your feet get cold. They might even turn a bit red, and they might even turn a bit blue before the rest of your body does. So is there a real danger with having cold feet? Not if they're only just cold. But if they stay cold for a long time, then you're actually damaging the cells and the tissues that are within your feet. So it really is important to keep your feet warm. So don't go walking around on the tiles on a cold day, because you will end up with freezing cold feet and you could potentially damage the tissues in your feet. Now, things like smoking, high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, all sorts of things can contribute to the vasoconstriction and the hardening of the arteries and the blood supply down to your feet. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to this wasn't just for an interesting bit of information as to why women and men are different with their temperatures, but it's because women in particular get leg ulcers. So women in their 70s and 80s, and you might think that that's a really long time away, but what you do now actually influences that. So what you can do now is protect your feet and protect your legs so that they carry you through to when you're 70 and 80 and you don't end up with leg ulcers. One of the things that women notice is edema in their legs on a hot day, or if they've been standing when they're pregnant, their ankles swell up. So with our circulation, we've got the arteries carrying the blood down to the feet, and we've got the veins carrying the blood back up to the heart. And so if the veins are a little bit tired, the blood pools in the veins and the fluid leaks out into the legs, and you end up with swollen ankles or cankles. And so what that does is that fluid gets in the way of the blood supply getting to the tissues and gets in the way of the blood supply getting to the skin. And you end up with a thing called dermatitis. Now, it's dermatitis secondary to edema, which means that it's the edema that's actually caused it. And so you've got so much fluid sitting in your legs that your skin can't function as skin. So imagine sitting your hand in the dishwashing water. You know, after you've done the dishes, or most people have dishwashers now, but if you've been in a spa or been in a bath for a long period of time, you get that wrinkled look on your hands. Well, that's the same thing that's happening on the inside, but it's there 24 hours a day. And so the skin starts to break down. And I'll put a picture up so that you can actually see what happens. Now, it doesn't take very long for that to happen. And as our population is aging, we're actually seeing more and more people come into this category where they've got the lymphedema. Perhaps they've been a shop assistant their whole life. Perhaps they've been at just any job where they're standing on their feet all day. So edema is one of the first things that we notice, and you can get compression socks and compression stockings, but I advise you to have a chat to your doctor if you've got edema in your legs. And the second thing that happens following the edema is that the skin will break down and you'll develop ulcers. Now, these ulcers are really ugly, and some of them take years to heal. Some people need surgery in order to restore the circulation to their feet, and that then returns the blood flow, the warmth, the nutrients, the oxygen, and the wounds will start to heal. But that doesn't always happen in a lot of people. We have to apply compression bandaging, and this can be 2, 3, 4 times a week. And the wounds, some people need to have an amputation if their circulation is so poor that their wounds aren't healing, and infections setting in, and those sorts of things. So there's a very real reason why women have cold feet and why women feel colder, but there's an equally important reason why we need to warm them up and look after our feet. So I hope you've learnt a little bit, and look after your feet. They are the unsung heroes. They keep us walking, they keep us driving, they keep us working, they keep us dancing. Alright, that's been another Nursing Hub video. Thanks for watching.